Carl Weathers was catapulted to fame when he first played the incredibly muscular Apollo in the Rocky franchise. He landed the role not because of his experience, but because of his excellent physique, which he demonstrated to one of the film's producers. His trainer was Vincent Gironda, a professional bodybuilder, personal trainer, and owner of a famous gym frequented by many stars at the time. Carl began training 2 years before landing the role of Apollo Creed, which catapulted him to fame. Vincent had a system specifically designed to prepare movie stars for their roles. This system included 6 to 7 exercises that engaged the entire body, starting with chest movements, moving on to leg movements, and then arm exercises, until one set of each movement was completed for each muscle group. Vincent believed the workout should be as fast as possible, achieving a great pump and improving cardiovascular flow. This system was essentially a full-body circuit training program, similar to what many modern trainers use. The advantage of this system is that you get a great cardio workout while also performing full-body resistance training, which is great for those who don't have time for any workouts. This program allows you to build modest muscle mass while reducing body fat and increasing cardiovascular fitness. However, if you're looking to build as much muscle as possible, this program wouldn't be optimal for you. Firstly, due to the lack of rest and the fast pace of the program, you wouldn't be able to perform as heavy a weight or as many reps on each exercise, which means less high-quality volume and less muscle-building stimulus for each muscle group. Secondly, the interference effect is a reason you won't build muscle optimally using such a program. This effect is a phenomenon whereby adaptation to simultaneous strength and endurance training is reduced compared to separate strength or endurance training. That's just a fancy way of saying that if you want to get the most out of your strength training, you need to do it separately from your cardiovascular training. But Carl Weathers was so lucky genetically that he had to really work to ensure he didn't build too much muscle. Since Carl wasn't interested in being a bodybuilder and didn't want to get too big to play different roles, this type of circuit training plan was perfect for him. At the time, Carl was on a completely vegetarian diet and got his protein only from dairy and plant sources. Carl had incredible genetics and could also use performance-enhancing drugs. But can a natural person with regular genetics really see amazing results in terms of muscle growth on a vegetarian or even vegan diet? It's obvious that veganism can prevent you from maximizing muscle growth on a vegetarian or vegan diet. There's the lack of meat, but what about meat makes it such a powerful tool? There are several reasons, but the most important is that meat is full of amino acids, which are essential for muscle growth. Not all proteins are created equal when it comes to building muscle. Protein is made up of amino acids, and 20 of these are needed by the body to function properly, and 9 of them are considered essential for survival, meaning the body cannot produce them on its own. These 9 essential amino acids are essential for building muscle, and your body needs a proper balance of all 9. If you don't have enough of all 9, your body will begin to break down muscle tissue to achieve the proper balance. So this is where things get tricky for vegetarians, and especially vegans. Vegans are limited to plant-based protein sources because they can't eat eggs or dairy, and many plant-based sources only contain a few of the 9 essential amino acids. Carl had to eat them in specific combinations to get the full spectrum of essential amino acids. There are some plant-based sources, such as quinoa and soy, that are complete proteins, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids, but they are also full of carbohydrates. If you're trying to achieve 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight without exceeding calories, it can be difficult with plant-based sources because plant-based protein sources are high in fat and carbohydrates compared to lean meat protein sources. Vegetarians, however, have a much easier time than vegans in this category because they can have lean, meat-based complete protein like egg whites, Greek yogurt, and cottage cheese. In most cases, most micronutrient deficiencies can be addressed with a vegan or vegetarian diet through supplementation. You can build muscle on a vegetarian diet, but it's essentially like hardcore bodybuilding because you're adding a lot of complexity to your diet. However, if you want to avoid meat and other animal products for ethical or religious reasons, then that added complexity is 100% worth it. Although the actor hasn't directly commented on steroid use, there are a few things we can point out to draw a conclusion. Trainer Vincent Gironda was vehemently opposed to using steroids for physique development. He claimed they contribute to a grotesque appearance, so it wasn't as if Carl trained under someone like Franco Columbu, who was a heavy steroid user. Secondly, Carl Weathers said he had to work hard to avoid getting too big, so even if he did take steroids, he wouldn't want to take too much to avoid gaining too much muscle mass. Now, looking at Carl's physique, It's definitely one that most people would struggle to achieve naturally, especially considering he's 6 feet 8 inches, so he's really tall. But considering how common steroid use was in the 70s and 80s, I imagine Carl probably used some testosterone or even growth hormone to help him get and stay insanely lean while maintaining all his muscle mass. The thing is, as a natural, it's quite easy to build a lot of muscle mass or get really lean, but it's really difficult to do both.